Hello, Mzansi. Welcome to it as Hollywoodbets once again brings you GameON. I am Caesar Mabena, promising you a fun-filled show as we break down what's happening in Germany with Shane McGregor. We'll also talk about the the local game with Jerry Skosana, the legend, of course. And Shane McGregor will get things started as we break down what's happening out in England. The big question in all three leagues right now, is it all done and dusted as we move into the midway point of March with only a few months to go until the end of the campaign? So, without further ado, here's GameON. Well, as we promised, Shane McGregor now joining me. Time to talk about all things in England, and the big race now is in for the European places, and things are getting rather interesting out in England. Let's start off with a result in a game I really was looking forward to. I'm sure you were as well. We speak about Nottingham Forest a lot over the last 4 or 5 months. They entertained City and walk away winners in a time when even City themselves are fighting to get into that top 4 position.
Yeah, very important win for Forest. You know, they came into that game needing the win. What can I say? You know, it's been a year to forget for Manchester.
On the whole, blue and red,
yeah, it's been a year to forget for them. And, you know, Forest have been worth their weight in gold. You know, they're a very good team. It's a team that you must watch out for. They've won the European trophy before, so, you know, they've got big things. Long time ago. They've got big things planned there. They can only get better. Now,
you called it last week when we spoke of Liverpool and Southampton, and we've spoken plenty about Southampton's struggles. Yeah. They continued away to Liverpool with a 3-1 comfortable win for Liverpool. Yeah,
you know, Southampton basically gone. They're going to be playing in the Championship next year. One of those things, you know, they just never recovered from a very bad start, and it's just got worse to worse. You know, when people see they're going to be playing Southampton, they're rubbing their hands with glee. One of the easier games, not that there is any easy games, but it is one of the easier games at the moment, taking them on.
I'll tell you what, Leicester City are in trouble. They are still fighting relegation. 5 losses on the trot now, including the 1-0 loss to Chelsea away to Chelsea, who blow hot and cold themselves.
Exactly, Chelsea blow hot and cold. But, you know, Chelsea are fighting for that spot, you know, in the top 4, so they have to get the victories. Leicester are their own worst enemies at times. You know, they're not scoring goals. They haven't got a bad squad, but a very aging one, and that's the big worry there, you know. But we'll see. This weekend could be a few surprises.
We spoke of Manchester United and how they tend to perform against some of the bigger teams. Yeah. And Arsenal go visit Manchester United at a time when Arsenal can ill afford to keep dropping points. They do so once again, and it's now 2 draws on the trot for Arsenal, 3 games without a win for Arsenal. Some would say it's done and dusted now. It's over.
It looks that way, you know, it looks that way. And Liverpool have been faltering themselves, you know. They've been hitting a few brick walls of late out of Europe. But, yeah, I agree with you. Man United seem to play well against all the top teams. Yeah. As soon as they come up against everyone else, they just seem to falter. We said last week, watch out for this. Yeah. I called the draw.
What does that tell you about the United players and the psyche?
It tells me that they're overpaid and underperforming. Simple.
There's games where you reckon they could do better.
Yeah. Much
if
better.
They can do as well as they do so consistently against the big sides.
Much better, you know. Even the ex-player, Roy Keane, has come out and said, you know, their best player, he's actually called him imposter. Yeah. He only plays certain games, so that just says it all.
Now, quickly, Newcastle, 2 points away from a 4th spot, but still a 6th spot in the table. They got beat West Ham away in West Ham. It was a good result for Newcastle, staying in contention for a top 4 spot.
Yeah, but very good result for them. Unfortunately, they've got a cup game this weekend, cup final, so something to look forward to for them. But a great one, much needed. They had to get that result to stay in for that top 4 fight.
Villa Liverpool 2-2 midweek.
We expected that, you know, because Villa aren't a bad team, so we expected that a good point for both teams.
Now, Forest away to Ipswich today.
Forest will win, simple, I haven't done with.
And another one, Arsenal-Chelsea, worth looking forward to on Sunday?
I initially said draw, because of where the 2 teams are and what they're looking for. But eventually I look at what Arsenal did midweek in the Champions League, played a whole bunch of reserves. I think Arsenal will get the victory. They've got players coming back from injury, Martinelli. I think they'll get the victory.
Now, Leicester City, with their troubles, are at home against Manchester United. Now, we've spoken about Manchester United and how disappointing they can be against some of the sides at the bottom of the table. Do you think Leicester will look into this game and think, hey, we stand a bit of a chance here?
Anyone who plays Manchester United, they say they've got a chance. Yeah. I've got draw written all over this one. So I'm going to be taking the draw.
Quickly, before I forget this one, it's an important one. Manchester City against Brighton, happening later today.
surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
At Man City,
Yeah.
I'm going with the Brighton one.
Going with the Brighton win.
With the Brighton one, I like the way they're playing. Man City have been struggling. I'm going with the Brighton one.
That's interesting news, Shane. Now, Newcastle United, Crystal Palace. Now, for me, Crystal, like I've said on a few occasions, they look the most improved side from the start of the season, first quarter of the season till now. It won't be easy for Newcastle at home.
Draw written all over it.
You reckon draw?
Yeah, draw.
With Newcastle needing the point at this point.
Draw.
And being quite desperate.
Draw.
Now, let's talk the table. And as things stand, 70 points for Liverpool, 55 for Arsenal. It would take a capitulation of notes from a Liverpool point of view. Yeah. Is it time to maybe throw in the towel now?
15 points difference, but Arsenal got their game in hand. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's 12 points, which means Liverpool have got to lose 4 games. And I don't think they've lost 4 games all season. So I think you can be saying, yeah, it's title
Lost
over.
1 all season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Title over. So you've got to be looking for the 2nd, 3rd and 4th spot. That's going to be the big thing.
Should Arsenal be looking and worried about Nottingham Forest, who are now just 4 points behind them?
Well,
With
there's a
about
few
10
teams.
games to go.
There's a few
10
teams.
10 games to go, yeah.
Yeah, there's a few teams that they've got to be looking at, especially if they're not getting results. But I do think Arsenal are getting players back from injury, which is going to bode them well. I think they'll hold on to that 2nd spot. It's going to be the fight for 3rd and 4th is going to be the big thing.
Manchester City, you expected them to put up a bit of a fight. They're 2 points behind Chelsea on 4th spot.
Well, if they get beaten on the weekend, it's going to be a difficult one, isn't it? So, it could go either way. That 3rd and 4th is going to go down to the wire. It's going to come to the last game of the season to decide who actually ends in that 3rd and 4th spot.
So, with regards to that 3rd, 4th spot, with counting Forest in that race, Chelsea at number 4,
Newcastle.
City at number 5, Newcastle as well.
Yeah.
At
So
number 6.
you counted 4 teams for 2 spots. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
I don't like it like our local league when a team runs away at the league and you're only looking for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. But, it's going to be exciting for that because all to play for there.
Well, there you have it from Shane McGregor. It's looking as though Liverpool have run away with it out in England. They're looking safe right now. But the positions, number 2, 3, 4, are certainly a huge talking point and a good number of clubs that are in the running in that regard. So that's our look at what's happening out in England. Shane, of course, will be back towards the end of the show as we discuss German football.
Wanna bet?
You are on.
Breaking news. Goko takes a Brian's challenge to a penalty shootout.
Aziz again.
Let's go.
Brian looks confident here. What? He's completely missed it. Here comes Goko. And what a kick! She's done it! She's done the impossible! Hollywoodbets, Azishege. Let's play.
Welcome back to GameON. Now, there's plenty to talk about in as far as the South African game when one considers we've had the Nedbank Cup, including midweek we had PSL results coming in, and well, there's plenty to talk about with Jerry Kosana now joining me. Jerana, let's go back to the weekend, go back to the Nedbank Cup, and Jose Rivero had a tough outing in the battle between Soweto, Netswana, against SuperSport United against Orlando Pirates. 2-2 at the end of it all. Very exciting game. Went down to penalties. Jose Rivero in his time in South Africa still lose.
Yeah, I think it was a good history for him in terms of Nedbank Cup because he hasn't lost it since he arrived here in South Africa. So for him, I would say actually that result for me, and I think we moral poster. There is a game before where he was not like in the stands and they didn't do well.
Yeah.
So I think for this one, he did well. And yes, for me, a little bit lucky because the Moralos equalizer, taking the game to extra time was
the
something
90th
good.
minute, yeah, very much so.
But let's give credit to China, the goalkeeper, but also penalty takers. Next time there must be a good improvement. Maswanganyi was lucky to have a goal. Penalty lao before.
Now, Kaizer Chiefs, the Stellenbosch, Kaizer Chiefs fans are confident going into the game against Stellenbosch because of recent results, the Kaizer Chiefs that have been in their favor. In the end, in a game where there's plenty of talking points, especially from a refereeing point of view, the Chiefs are winning 3-1 when we went against the game.
It was a good game.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was a good game. I give credit to Chiefs, the way they showed themselves against the Steelers. Remember, with the Steelers, akusi Team J. Ihlula ama-team wala igoli kakhulu. So loko kwenzakala, I think it was good for Chiefs. But well, match officials, it happens to anybody. People mustn't look at it because Chiefs got the upper hand in it, you know, in terms of a decision. I mean, there is a goal Steelers. For me, there is a push that I see inside the box. I mean, if that player from Kaizer Chiefs was not pushed, he should have maybe defended the goal that was scored by the header. So when they look at good Chiefs, you know, it's because of a big club and maybe people want to have something to say about. For me, it was not that serious. He's maybe assistant to raise a flag that can be something in question.
Causing confusion,
you know. Yeah. But I think for them to be given that goal, it was something which they deserve. Now,
Maroma Gallants are in a tough situation, fighting relegation in the PSL and also still advancing pretty far in the Nedbank Cup. They're up against Durban City. Goals are hard to come by for both sides in this game. In fact, creating goals was an issue for both sides in this game. But the Gallants were taken to extra time, taken to penalties in a game they wanted to wrap up as quickly as possible.
You know, in that game, for me now, watching it was not more of how are the teams playing.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can't wait to have this Durban City in the PSL.
Yes.
Honestly, I mean,
they looked the business, no?
Yeah, I mean, they played good football. They were like all over Maroma Gallants. They were lucky to hold on to Durban City because they're playing good football and the Bibatlaman, one of the best. And I'm more than happy with that. And unfortunately for them to lose in the penalty shootout, I think maybe it was fatigue. Players with Durban City.
Now, when you look at PSL, Sundowns are still cruising. Pezul, Bashayama Zulu 2-0. Pirates can't afford to drop points. They drop points against Stellenbosch.
Masiagule is Sundowns against Amazulu. For me, as an ex-striker, I say halala to Ushalulile. The player to score 100 goals in one team. That feat was left by Daniel Modau in the same Sundowns team. So for me, Ushalulile, I give Isalutiami as an ex-striker to say he's doing a good job. So, but it was good for Sundowns because they want to win the league. They wanted to make sure it was Stempi authority by beating Amazulu.
Quickly, Makesi, at a tough time of the season, continue to pick up points. Bashai Richards Bay, an impressive results for Makesi that takes them out of the relegation struggle, but they're still thereabouts. They're not safe yet.
Not yet, but I mean, it was a good result because they are putting Richards Bay into the problem as well because that's where they all belong. You know, you look at the problem with the Royal AM, so everybody want to be at least the second last to go and fight in the promotional relegation playoffs.
Chiefs in Cape Town City, 0-0. Chiefs coach not too happy?
Not too happy. I take the blame to Tuze Shabalala, being given the goal to score and then you just put on the side, and that's the comment. ANZO coach, but if you want to play for Kaizer Chiefs, you are given a chance like that, you need to score. Obviously, I was referring to the young Shabalala.
Gallants are in trouble today. Or maybe they have work to do today out in Cape Town against Cape Town City. We want to in a game where they need to start picking up points to move out of relegation.
Yeah, it won't be easy for them. I think Umushin, after playing Kaizer Chiefs midweek, he wants to get points. He's not also in a safe place. So I think he's going to make sure he gets the point out of that game.
Tomorrow, big one. Pirates, Sundowns. Is the league race over? Can Pirates still turn this thing around? Or is Sundowns cruising at this point?
I will personally go there to make sure that I watch it like straight and not on the telly. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be the one that decides the league, honestly. It's going to be the one that decides the league. Yes, Sundowns have got the upper hand, 18 points ahead. Orlando Pirates 4 games in hand, but you don't count games in hand without points. You win the league by getting points, not having games in hand.
Well, Richards Bay needs points. Up against the Kaizer Chiefs, that themselves, they're just rounding up the top 8. They want to get further up the top 8 Kaizer Chiefs. Important game for both these sides.
I give it to Chiefs.
Away from home.
One. Yeah, away from home. Chiefs are going to win that one.
Now, Skukuna United fighting for top 4 against Stellenbosch, number 3 and 4. This is a good game there.
That's a
very good game.
Very, very good game. Yeah. I think that's where you'll see who's best in terms of taking position 3, but I think Skukuna would want to stay there. And let's see how the new coach, Eric Tinkler, fare in that one. Because it's good for it.
Later on today, there's another game worth keeping an eye on. Golden Arrows are away to Makesi looking to stay out of the relegation battle. We say thank you very much to Jerry Skosana as we round up what's been happening locally here in South Africa. On the other side of this, of course, Shane McGregor comes back and we discuss all things German football. Welcome back, and Shane McGregor returns as GameON now focuses on what's happening out in Germany and some surprise results that came in from Germany, and certainly worth getting into with Shane. Let's start off with Mainz. We haven't spoken too much about them of late, but they've quietly been getting on with business. Travel away to Borussia Mönchengladbach and win 3-1.
Great results for them.
It takes them to, what, third spot on the table?
Third spot on the table.
Yeah.
You look at what they've been doing lately. They've been getting these victories and just getting the wins under the belt and a lot away from home.
Yeah.
So they've quietly just, as you say, gone about their business. Now all of a sudden they've creeped into their third spot. And only because of what happened this weekend.
Now, interesting with regards to the race at the top. I mean, for Leverkusen, every time they drop points, it seems as though Munich get points and just pull away and keep the gap pretty much alive. But they both go and drop points this week and lose games this week. Leverkusen, firstly, losing 2-0 away to Bremen.
Well, it's the first time in a long, long time that all top three sides lost on the same weekend.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, these things happen. Yeah. The loss. What can you do? You have a player sent off. It's not going to help you, and especially in the first half. So yeah, that's what happened.
We're talking.
I'm talking about Bayern.
Bayern now. They of course 3-2 with Bochum.
Yeah, Leverkusen as well. Go out and. I think Leverkusen have, because of the Champions League and everything else, a lot of tired players there. They haven't brought players in, so I think it's a big worry for them, and that's been the biggest problem. Their squad isn't as big as Bayern's, and that's where it all begins to tell now this season. 2-0, unlucky for them, But then also, Bayern, You think in Leverkusen, Bayern go drop points. Leverkusen, all they got to do is win. And what do they go do? They also
drop points at the same time.
So
both these sides have only lost twice this season. Yeah. It's worth keeping in mind. But another shock result was Frankfurt losing to Union Berlin 2-1 at home.
Another team.
And losing third spot in the process.
Another team losing third spot. And another team again, similar to Leverkusen. They've been playing in Europe. It takes its toll on players, and people don't realize it. As much as you think you play midweek, whatever, I used to enjoy it because then you're training less. But it does take your toll.
When you hit February, March.
Exactly, it does.
You're still in those competitions. Yeah,
the legs start going. And the travelling, not just the playing.
Sure.
The travelling around, everything else catches up with you. And if you don't have the big squad, it makes it even worse. But, now they're looking, fourth spot, we've got to be very careful because that's, once again, you got those top 4 teams that you've got to watch out for.
Mainz today are at home to Freiburg. There's a game worth catching.
Worth catching. Mainz are in great form. So you expect, especially being away from home, they've got results lately like you can't believe. I've got to go with Mainz. They're the informed team at the moment, so I've got to go with them.
At home? They usually do it away from home.
It doesn't matter, when you inform, you inform. So you've got to look at them and say, well, they're firing. Keep the momentum game, and that's the big thing at this time of the year, just keep momentum going. Union
Berlin at home to Bayern Munich?
Yeah, Bayern should get the job done, even though it is a away game for them, they should get the job done. I think there's an international break coming up, so they'll be looking at that and saying, well, we need to get a win under the belt before that. So I think they'll get the job done.
Now, Stuttgart, it looks a very good game. I looked at this fixture, I thought, wow, I'd love to cash this fixture. Stuttgart on Sunday, the late game against Bayer Leverkusen.
Very difficult game to call. Yeah, you look at Leverkusen at the moment; they're not going well. Been dropping points. Stuttgart are a team that can upset any team. Yeah. When I looked at this, I was hoping Leverkusen with my heart, but then you go with your head as a punting guy, and you look at it the way football is. I've got to be leaning towards Stuttgart in the draw in this one. I have to.
So those are the thoughts from Shane McGregor. And as far as the German game, let's talk about, Hollywoodbets. And they're giving back, as we've discussed on a number of occasions, especially during the December period in the way of Kasi football. Now, during that December period, in the Kasi football scene, there was a player known as the White Witch. His name is Lungelo Dondolo. I've spoken about, and the word is that there are a number of top clubs that may very well be interested in turning his, Kasi football experience into the dream that is, of course, playing at the top flight of South African football. Let's find out more about the White Witch, Lungelo Dondolo.
In South African football, players who often capture the imagination of fans are those who have a magic touch. They call them maestros, the special players who create excitement every time they touch the ball. Some say it's a dying breed, but in December, during various Kasi tournaments, one such player showed that he has what it takes to get the crowd on their feet, combining style and substance.
My name is Lungelo Tondolo. I'm 23 years old and I come from Katlehong. I love the game of football. I started playing football in the hood in Katlehong. I'm from a team called Killer United. I played there for like 5 years. Then I went to Katoras Academy. After that, I went to Piet Westvets, started in the under-19s, then went to the MTC. Then the club was sold during COVID. Then after that, I went to Supersport United.
The importance of Kasi tournaments, such as those powered by Hollywoodbets, goes beyond just football. It's also in the lessons, quality, and knowledge passed on by talented players such as Lungelo to others.
They mean a lot to us because we get there to share some experience because we had a taste of the professional level. And that's where we grew up. So even Kasi people love the Kasi football. So we're there sharing experience, but hoping we go back to the professional levels again. Without my teammate, I was not going to win the play of the tournament, but it was going to be more special if we won the tournament. Unfortunately, we lost in the finals, but yeah.
Speaking of his own personal ambitions, Lungelo told us he still hopes to reach the South African top flight, while also letting us in on who he looks up to in the game.
In the PSL, Sipombule, who's playing for Skukune currently, and Tembazwane, because every time they play, like they're always confident, they play their own football, they never change anything. So that's what I'm also doing. And the players, the chance that I play here with, Itumele Nkune, Machoro, Happy Chele, those are the guys that I look up to. My day. Sure. I believe in myself. I'm still gonna make it, and I'm still 23. Some players made their debut at 27, 28. So I believe I'm gonna make it in the PSL. My name is Lungelo Tondolo. They call me the White Witch, and watching the show that matters, Game On.
Well, once again, thank you very much to Hollywoodbets in helping develop the local game and find some youngsters and let them live the dream. Now, thank you very much as well to Shane McGregor, as well as Jerry Skosana in helping us break down football in some very interesting leagues. And from myself, Sisu Mapena, and the rest of the team that is behind the scenes, click, bang.